Hallöchen und einen wunderschönen guten Abend und herzlich willkommen zum heutigen Stream. Es geht weiter mit dem Stanley Parable und mal schauen, ob wir es vielleicht heute schon zum neuen Content schaffen, aber ich glaube ehrlich gesagt nicht. Wir frühstücken ja erstmal. Oh, wieder Uhrzeit eingeben. Wie spät haben wir es denn? 7:49. Ist das dann noch AM? Nein. Das ist ja dann schon PM? So. Genau. Oh, ich bin ein Rebell, ich sag schon 50, so. Sekunde mal, warte. Ja. Also, klicken. Kann ich kurz was sagen, bevor wir loslegen? Gerne doch. Danke, dass du die Uhrzeit beide Male eingestellt hast, nachdem du das Spiel gestartet hast. Viele nehmen diesen Schritt nicht ernst. Sie belassen die Uhrzeit einfach bei 12 und lassen es gut sein. Aber du machst dir tatsächlich die Mühe, die Uhrzeit einzustellen. Und das weiß ich zu schätzen. Ja, ich mag sowas. Wenn mir die Option gegeben wird, dann will ich auch die Uhrzeit eingeben. Warum auch nicht? So weiß ich, dass dir diese Erfahrung wichtig ist. Du bist aufmerksam. Ich kann gar nicht wissen, ob die von dir eingestellten Uhrzeiten korrekt sind. Pass auf, ich habe einen Vorschlag für dich. Da du so kooperativ warst, kannst du bei deinem nächsten Spielstart, wenn du diesen Bildschirm siehst, einfach deine Lieblingszeit einstellen. Oh, ich habe keine Lieblingszeit. Verdammt. Ich werde wohl doch wieder einfach die Uhrzeit nehmen. Mach nur. Nimm einfach die Uhrzeit, die du willst. Selbst wenn es nicht die richtige Zeit ist. Du hast es dir verdient. Alles klar, ich lasse dich jetzt mal weiterspielen. Ja, bitte. Bitte, danke. Okay. Das ist ja süß. Gibt es dafür ein Achievement, wenn ich das 5-mal mache oder so? Das werden wir bestimmt noch rausfinden.
This is the story of a man
Nein,
named
das habe ich beim letzten Mal
Stanley.
übersprungen. Jetzt lasse ich es mal laufen.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Errungenschaft, willkommen zurück. Zumindest gibt's
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New Content, bald, bald. Wahrscheinlich nicht heute.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja. Aber das haben wir auch schon getan.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simplest but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Das hatten wir beim letzten Mal schon gemacht, noch im letzten Stream. Also gehen wir weiter hier lang. Was haben wir denn hier Schönes? Pläne.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja. Diese Kaffeetasse steht da sehr gefährlich. Kann ich hier rein? Nein. Oh, da brauche ich eine Keycard. Ich habe keine Keycard. Ja, ich kann ja nicht springen. Haha. Kacke. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse. Oh, Penalty for jumping. Aber wenn ich eh tot bin, was interessiert es mich dann, wenn es teuer wird?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ja, ich weiß.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bald. Sehr bald.
When
Im nächsten
Stanley came
Stream,
to a set
garantiert.
of 2 open doors,
Ja,
this
ja.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja. So, hier, Employee Lunch.
Yes,
Gut.
this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Really?
Ja.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Nein.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Ja.
Give me a chance.
Ja. Proof? Jetzt? Nicht? Da ist ein Vent. Können wir da Among Us spielen? Und kommt man eigentlich auch irgendwie runter in die Lagerhalle? Wahrscheinlich nicht. So, wo ist nun der Proof? Danger! Danger everywhere! Zu. Schade aber auch. Komm, Proof! Wo ist der Proof? No buckets past this point. Warum?
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Ja.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Aber warum? Warum nicht durch die blaue? Na gut, wir machen erstmal, was er sagt. Wir können ja wieder kommen.
God, you are willing to listen to me.
Ja.
Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Ja.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Ja. Hier?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Ich weiß es nicht. Wonach suchen wir? Nach Lichtern?
Here.
Schön aus.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Auf jeden Fall sind das schöne bunte Lichter, die alle nach oben steigen. Also bunt, blau, blau-weiß. Und hallo, Magical Kuchen. Herzlich willkommen. Jetzt sind bunte Lichter. Aber passiert hier auch noch irgendwas anderes? Die da bilden einen Donut. Und die bleiben irgendwie hier unten. Kann ich... Kann ich nicht. Okay, hier kann ich nicht runterspringen. Schade aber auch. Ja, ich glaube, das hier ist aber noch aus der alten Version, oder? Ich bin noch nicht durch die New Content Tür gegangen. Muss aber zugeben, dass ich das in der alten Version selber auch nicht gefunden habe. Ich wusste nicht, dass man vom Cargo-Lift springen kann. Oder ich habe es einfach nicht gemacht, weil ich es ignoriert habe damals, als ich es gespielt habe, die alte Version. Aber passiert hier noch irgendwas? Außer, dass hier bunte Lichter sind. Ich glaube, der Raum soll uns nur ablenken. Hier passiert gar nichts. Wobei das schon cool aussieht. Das gibt ein bisschen Optik. Wow. Aber ich glaube, hier passiert sonst nichts weiter. Da geht's raus. Springen kann ich auch nicht. Irgendwie traue ich mich aber auch nicht, einfach wieder zu gehen. Es könnte doch noch was passieren. Ich glaube, hier passiert nichts mehr, oder? Ich bin so verunsichert. Ich gehe da mal. Sah der hier schon vorher so aus, der Gang?
Wait. Where are you going?
Weg. Soll ich wieder zurück? Ist das besser? Aber hier passiert ja nichts. Außer dass Lichter in den Himmel steigen. Ich will nicht glücklich werden. Ich will das Spiel spielen.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Ja, so muss das Innere einer Lavalampe aussehen, das stimmt. Oder so muss es sich anfühlen.
No, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
In einer Lavalampe zu sein. Aber ich kann ja nichts anderes
Please,
tun.
Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Ja, ich denke drüber nach. Moment, ich denke. Hier bitte, Dings, wie heißt denn die Sendung? Jeopardy-Musik einfügen. Ich habe nachgedacht.
No!
Oh.
Oh, thank God. You lived.
Noch.
You had me worried there for a moment.
Lässt sich ändern.
No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Ja, weil ich hier nirgendwo anders hinkomme. Deswegen tue ich das. Hoppa. Au.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Und das bringt mir was? Da steigen nur Lichter auf. Progress. Ich komme ja auch nirgendwo anders mehr hin.
My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
Nein.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were
Nein.
literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Nein, ich mag das Spiel so sehr, dass ich neu starten will. Ach,
Maybe
komm
you're
schon.
just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
Ja.
I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Ich fall halt gerne irgendwo runter anscheinend. Ist doch toll. Ich spring halt gerne in Tiefen. Verurteile mich nicht dafür. Ui.
Is it over?
Autsch.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Ja, ob man noch denken kann, wenn man tot ist? Tot ist ja Hirn aus, oder nicht?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, nein. Wir gehen wieder rechts.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja,
The
wunderschön.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein. Was passiert, wenn ich durch die blaue Tür gehe?
Stanley
statt
was
durch
so
die
bad
rote?
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja. Los geht's.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Da unten ist ein
I'm
Tor.
not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
Woo.
Really?
Ja.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let
Yeah.
me prove that I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nein, da waren wir gerade.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Was?
Stanley walked through the red door.
Nein! Da waren wir doch gerade. Da bleibt mir ja nur sterben.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Aber hier ist eine blaue Tür.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Ja, genau. Die rote Tür hat zu den Lichtern geführt, deswegen gehen wir jetzt durch die blaue Tür, weil rot hatten wir ja nun schon.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yeah.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Ja.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Dass ich
Tell you
springen
what,
kann.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Oh.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ja, also eine dritte Tür. Ich weiß nicht. Eher so, ja, nein.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful.
Ah, ich mag den
Here,
Sprecher.
based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ja. The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Good Old Neil ist offline. Skid ist offline. Nicho Nacho. Wolla, Hoggart, Mr. Was? Did you know that? 21% skippen das Intro. Nur die 3% der schlechtesten Spieler oder der schlimmsten Spieler nutzen die blaue Tür. How long does it take you to get the correct door? Ja. Oha, das sind viele geöffnete Türen und Schritte. Auch geschlossene Türen. Ja. 98,9% der Spieler sind attraktiver als Stanley. Ja, na dann. Gehen wir mal wieder hier durch. Das sollen wir ja bestimmt tun.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Nein, nicht wirklich, ehrlich gesagt.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Ja, bitte. Oh.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
Was?
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
So
Be
lange
sure
wollte
to
ich gar
keep
nicht
notes
streamen.
on your experience.
Oh Gott. Oh Gott. Oh Gott. Sind schon 4 Stunden um? Ja, nee, ist mir egal. Ey, das Kackding wenigstens die Schnauze.
You heartless
Gott sei Dank, Ruhe.
bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or
Ja.
purely to spite me? Because if
Beides.
it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh,
Ja?
hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Ja.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Jetzt wo du es gerade sagst, ich habe Firewatch selber auch nie gespielt, aber ich glaube, das ist Firewatch. Ich habe Let's Plays dazu gesehen, ist aber auch schon ewig her. Ich hätte jetzt fast im ersten Moment gesagt, das sieht aus wie The Long Dark. Aber auch wieder nicht ganz. Aber, was steht da? Who firewatches the Firewatch? Ich glaube, es ist Firewatch. Ich bin mir nicht so sicher, aber ich glaube, es ist aus Firewatch. Oh Gott. Ja, auch ich habe damals versucht, den Buchstaben S so zu malen. Hatten wir nicht alle diese Langeweile im Unterricht als Kinder? Was haben wir hier Schönes? Cookbook. Lookout Cookbook. Okay. National Forest of Wyoming. Ja, ich glaube, das ist Firewatch. Truck Alaska. Flora of the Shoshone. Paradise. Volunteer as Lookout. Ist das jetzt echt ein Open-World-Spiel? Nein, oder? Was muss ich tun? Wie soll ich denn hier Entscheidungen treffen?
Oh no.
Ja,
No, 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 it
Ja,
can't
ja.
be.
Sag ich ja. Wie soll ich denn hier? Wie kann ich denn hier?
It is. It's an open world game. Good
Das ist ein
God,
Klo.
quickly, block it off.
Nein, da war ein Klo. Ich wollte zum Klo.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
Ja.
You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Ja.
We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here.
Aber
Let's
da ist
find
noch was zum
another
Angucken.
game.
Nein.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Jonesy Lake. Ich will zum See. Hör auf zu suchen, ich will zum See.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Was? Firewatch in der DDR?
Wonderful.
Wegen der Mauer?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run
Wie heißt es
around
denn
in.
mit den
There isn't
Autos
any
und Ball?
possibility that you could get lost here.
Rocket League.
Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Ich wusste gar nicht, dass ich am Rechner von meinem Mann sitze, aber gut. Und wo ist überhaupt das Brumm
Okay,
rum?
so what exactly do we do here? Let's see.
Hier
There are
kann
lots
ich
of
springen.
cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this
Ja.
game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what
Sports
fun.
Ball.
We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must.
Ja.
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Ball. Oh Gott. Und ja, das ist definitiv Rocket League. Nicht, dass ich das selber spielen würde, aber ich hab's schon oft genug gesehen. In welches Tor muss, ist egal. Habt ihr keine Gegenspieler?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this
Ja.
fun?
Ja.
Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely
schon, einer.
multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports
Sag mal, ich kann nicht mal ein Tor treffen.
I need
Nein.
to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Ja, mehr Bälle.
Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Ja, mehr Bälle, aber ich treffe ja nicht mal mit einem Ball das Kacktor. Fußball war nie mein Ding. Ja. Ja, komm, rein da. Komm schon, Tor. Hallo? Tor?
Are you enjoying this, Stanley?
Ja, so ein bisschen.
Fun? Is this a real...
Oh.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Wusste gar nicht, dass das ein Ding ist.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
War das, was ich sowieso hätte tun sollen? Aber was ist, wenn ich noch mehr Bälle bekommen hätte? Please rate your experience. The Stanley Parable Alpha Test. Ja. Wo muss ich hin? Hier ist alles so dunkel. Ah! Ups. Da ging es ja noch... Wieso sieht das jetzt so nach Horrorspiel aus? Ist das wirklich noch das... Hat jemand beim alten Stanley Parable... Naja, gut, so viele Zuschauer sind ja gerade nicht da, aber vielleicht später. Hat jemand Ahnung vom alten Stanley Parable? Ich gerade nicht. Ich gebe zu, dass ich das nie so akkurat gespielt habe. Wo bin ich? Oder ist das... Aber eigentlich gibt es ja extra die New Content Tür. Das ist kein neuer Content, oder? Das ist alles noch alter Content? Fragezeichen? Wo muss ich hin? Muss ich zu der dunklen Tür? Warte mal, von hier bin ich Da ist die dunkle Tür. Ah, das Rate the Experience gab's und das mit dem Kind und dem Feuer, okay. Das habe ich zum Beispiel nie erreicht. Okay, das ist einfach nur schwarz. Weil ich nie vom Cargo-Lift gesprungen bin. Deswegen weiß ich das zum Beispiel nicht. Dementsprechend bin ich natürlich auch nie zum Rocket League und Firewatch gekommen. Oh, warte mal, 423? Ah, ich glaube, hier muss ich lang. Das ist das Büro. Ich muss zu meinem Platz. Ich bin die 427. Lasst mich durch. Ja, mein Büro. Toll. Und jetzt? Bringt mir nichts. Okay. Aber was mache ich denn jetzt hier? Gut, an den Türen kann ich nichts machen.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Ich auch. Okay, wenn Stanley Parable ursprünglich 2011 rauskam, dann kommt das nicht hin. Müsste ich mal in das alte Stanley Parable aus Langeweile mal reingucken. Nicht aus Langeweile, aus Spaß an der Freude.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Zeitlang hatten
co-workers.
sich die Tassen geändert, aber ich glaube, das ist gar nicht mehr. So, weil eigentlich ist aber New Content nur da, aber vielleicht haben die auch so ein bisschen was eingestreut.
When Stanley came
Für
to a
den
set of two
aufmerksamen
open doors,
Spieler.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
Vielleicht gab es zwischendurch auch mal Updates, das kann natürlich
But
auch
eager
sein.
to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wie gesagt, ich bin damals, als ich das alte Stanley Parable
Stanley was so bad
gespielt
at
habe,
following directions, it's
nie auf die
incredible
Idee
he
gekommen, da
wasn't 5
runterzuspringen.
years ago.
tatsächlich, wenn ich so vom Cargo-Lift
Look,
in den
Stanley,
Tod
I
springe.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Aber das Spiel heißt doch The Stanley
This
Parable.
is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ja, dann gehen wir zu Frauchen. Das sagt mir auch wieder was.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay. Und dann machen wir es nochmal und ziehen den Stecker. Natürlich
Stanley,
wohnen
is
wir
that
auch in...
you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Wohnen wir auch in Wohnung 427.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Schatz! Liebling!
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Frau! Frau, nicht weggehen.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Was? Guten Morgen, Mitarbeiter 427. Drücke J auf deiner Tastatur, ja.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Bitte? Drücke H.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
T.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From
Ja.
behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Drücke M, um fernzusehen. Ist das da der Fernseher?
And so he began to fantasize
Ich
about
darf
his
nicht
own job.
fernsehen.
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Drücke B, um Zeit mit den Jungs zu verbringen.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Ja, hallo. Oh nein, es wird nicht eingeblendet. Ah, doch, wird's. Hab falsch geguckt. Dankeschön für den Follow. Warte mal, V. Um Abendessen vorzubereiten.
As he wandered through
Meine
this
Küche!
fantasy world, he
No!
began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a
Eine
game
gelbe
with a
Linie,
baby.
TM?
And he called
Trademark?
it the Stanley Parable.
Aber wir hatten doch die Linie noch nicht. Ich weiß, wie sie sich nennt, aber ich verrate es nicht. Drücke C, um deinen Kindern eine Geschichte zu erzählen. Welchen Kindern?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he
Ja.
played just one more time.
Ja. Q, um deiner Frau zu sagen, dass du sie liebst. Ich liebe dich, Schatz, aber du wirst wahrscheinlich gleich verschwinden. Wenn ich Q drücke, also jetzt.
But there is no answer. How
Wusste
could
ich's
there
doch.
possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Drücke U, um schlafen zu gehen. Nein, jetzt klauen sie mir auch noch das Bett.
And I'm trying to tell
Oder auch
him
nicht.
this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Drücke P, um morgens zur Arbeit zu erscheinen. Ne, ich mach ja nichts. Meine Hände sind weit weg von der Tastatur. Aber es wird ja nichts bringen. Es wird ja nichts bringen. Ob er mit mir spricht, wenn ich nichts drücke eine Weile? Er hat gesagt, ich soll nichts drücken. Kann ich sonst noch was tun? I hate Mondays. Das kann ich leider nicht lesen. Ich komme auch nicht auf meinen Tisch, um mich drüber zu hocken. Nee, ich kann es nicht lesen. Irgendwas mit Club. Tick, tick, tick. Wie lange muss ich nichts drücken, um vielleicht ein Achievement dafür zu kriegen? Wenn es dafür eins gibt. Ob es dafür eins gibt? Wir können uns ja ein bisschen lecker Akten machen und mit unserer Frau dem Schreibtisch gemeinsam essen. Nam, 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 nam. Aber guck mal, wir kriegen ja nicht mal Akten. Da sind ja keine Akten drin. Das sind nur Aktenschränke. Ist sehr bleihaltige Alu. Aus was besteht so ein Aktenschrank? Das Ticken ist echt scheiße nervig. Auf Dauer. Oh, ich weiß schon, warum ich keine Uhren bei mir zu hängen habe. Ja, das ist aber, das ist Diätkost. Für wie lange muss denn das reichen? Jeden Tag ein Zettel? Dann kommen wir, glaube ich, eine Woche hin. 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, und einmal gibt's extra was. Sonntags kriegen wir 2 Zettel. Und dann haben wir noch einen Umschlag? Und können noch ein bisschen mit Bleistiftanspitzerspänen garnieren. Ah komm, ich glaube, da passiert nichts.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Bitte drücke K, um nichts zu hinterfragen.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose. The same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
Aber sie guckt
I'll
mich nicht
try
an.
once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Bitte stirb.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried
Again. And Stanley pushed a button. The end is loading. Ja, aber warum soll die Lampe denn hüpfen können? Wir können es ja auch nicht.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Das wäre ja
What could it
gemein.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, jetzt nochmal zum Telefon und Stecker ziehen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Ja.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room?
Natürlich.
I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly, love.
Ja, natürlich. Warum nicht?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ja, soll sie doch.
That's her, Stanley. Oh,
Zack.
no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Ja.
Now, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
No.
You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible?
Tja.
None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not
Ja.
noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Ja.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think
Ja.
I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
Yeah.
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ja.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
Danger
But not to
everywhere.
worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. Die richtige Entscheidung ist Fisch. Habe ich gelernt. Ach, fahren wir jetzt zurück? Und wieso ist da... Wieso ist hier... Hier ist ein Gitter. Warum? Das war eben gerade noch nicht.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Kann ich damit auch wieder rüberfahren? Nicht. Okay. Achso. Mann, die Türen gehen so laut zu gerade. Oder bilde ich mir das nur ein? War das schon vorher so? Ah, die Lounge. Ja, er sagt jetzt nicht.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Ja?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Okay. Und jetzt gehe ich hier lang? Aber warum sollte ich? Außerdem hat sich die Tür nicht geschlossen. Schade, ich muss. Ach. Kann ich durch die Tür gehen vielleicht? Nein. Okay. Oh, warte mal, ich sehe jetzt erst.
It's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why?
Yeah.
For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Nein!
I have to.
Nein! Nein! Nicht das Spiel ausmachen. Oh, ist das Spiel schon aus?
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you.
Ja.
You.
It
Who
is
thought
I.
you were so clever. Now look where we are.
Ich bin clever.
My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Yeah.
You just had to see?
Ja,
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
ich bin
He actually
Stanley.
knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Eigentlich nicht.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make
Ja,
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
es ist so verlockend. Es ist so verlockend, einfach wieder durch die Rechte zu gehen. Warum eigentlich nicht?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Yeah.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
Ja, wollte ich gerade. Ging nicht.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Rechts.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as
Ja,
Stanley
okay.
would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hast du gedacht. Vielleicht ändert sich ja was, wenn ich doch weiter hier lang gehe.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly,
Warum nicht?
hurry back.
Okay, es ändert sich, glaube ich, nichts.
Behave exactly as Stanley
Ja, okay,
would.
ich geh links.
That means choosing
Diesmal wirklich.
responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Aha. So, und jetzt?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Schade.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to
Ja,
go up to
der
his
Broom
boss's
Closet.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Warum? Lass mich in mein Broom Closet! Ich will das Broom Closet Ending, das er so angeteasert hat beim ersten Durchgang.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Ich
office.
darf nicht mal die Treppe runtergehen. Gemeinheit. Was sagt das Klo? Da fehlt irgendwie ein Schild dran. Ach, da darf ich auch nicht mehr rein. Okay. Kann ich Fahrstuhl fahren? Nein, ich darf auch nicht Fahrstuhl fahren. Und es ist natürlich nicht das geile große Büro. War ja klar. Warum das
Stepping
mit dem
inside his
Feuer?
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week.
Yeah.
Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Ja. Hallo? Night Shark? 115?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Nein, anscheinend nicht.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Ich habe keine Stimmbänder.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oder auch nicht.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
Ich glaube, zu dem Spiel gibt es kein richtiges Ende, oder?
Yeah, I can wait.
Es gibt halt verschiedene Enden.
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Ja. Es kommt ja dann immer dieser Bildschirm. The end is never the end. Es endet halt eigentlich nie.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
The end is never
Stanley
the end.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, nein. Wir gehen nicht zum Meeting Room. Eine Sache kann ich noch machen, wenn ich rechts lang gehe.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room.
Was?
It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little.
Was?
This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
Was? Spontan meine Tage bekommen, tut mir ja leid.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ja, ist das richtig?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Nope. Das habe ich noch nicht gemacht. Glaube ich. Nee, ich bin noch nicht hier runtergefahren.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Sicher?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay.
No,
Sicher?
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
Keine
What
Ahnung.
was I thinking?
Aber
It's clearly...
wirklich.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Natürlich. Gib mir Zeit.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ganz sicher? Da ist ein Auto im Weg. Ah! Warum können wir nicht einfach mit dem Auto wegfahren? Okay, hier lang. Ja.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Yeah.
The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay, ich glaube, jetzt habe ich alles vom alten Content durch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jetzt kann ich durch die...
When Stanley... Wait.
Oder auch nicht.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
Ja,
you move
alles.
the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Ja! Oh, warte mal, mir fehlt sowieso noch was. Ich hatte die Adventure-Line noch gar nicht. Kommt die dann auch jetzt? Nein. Story? Hallo? Ist hier irgendwo eine Geschichte? Ich weiß gar nicht, wo ich lang muss. Das wirkt so richtig. Da will ich nicht lang, das wirkt richtig.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ich wollte das gerade lesen. Da das jetzt schon für die Ultra Deluxe Edition mein zweiter Stream ist, glaube ich, ich habe fast alles durch vom alten Content. Aber ich weiß nicht, ob ich damals, als ich das Spiel gespielt habe, alles wirklich geschafft habe. Weil ich ja, wie gesagt, sogar die rote und blaue Tür damals nie hatte. Oh nein, keine Tür mehr.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Oh, Bioshock gratis. Ja, danke für den Hinweis. Ich vergesse in letzter Zeit ständig da reinzugucken nach den neuen Gratis-Spielen. Ich habe tatsächlich Epic. Dank Epic habe ich die alte Version von Stanley Parable überhaupt erst bekommen. Weil es die da auch mal gratis gab.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Ja? Wo?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ja?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Ja.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Ja!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Ja.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
Manu.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Ja, die Adventure Line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Trademark.
Just follow the line.
Trademark.
How simple is that?
Ja. Und die Musik, bitte. Ich will die Adventure Line Musik. Wo ist die Musik?
See,
Maestro.
the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me.
Ja.
Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
Ja.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Bin gerade im Kreis
You know what?
gelaufen.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten
Ja.
the mood.
Bitte. Ja! Jetzt fühle ich mich doch gleich viel mehr nach Abenteuer. Warum darf ich nicht höher gehen? Ja, Adventure Line! Warte, wir müssen der Linie so gut wie möglich folgen. Wird schwierig hier. Ich auf den Tisch? Nein, schade. Wow! Nichts, schade. Anti-Lectures. Corporate imbalances. Annual reviews. Consolidation reports. Nein. Achso, ja, gut. Ich eh nur wieder davon wollen. Hä? Nein, komme ich nicht? Komme ich doch, aber von... Irgendwo? Hä? Ich bin verwirrt. Okay. Jetzt bin ich wieder hier.
Cut the music. Go
Warum?
back and look at that fern.
Ja, den hier.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Ja.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay, dieser Farn also, ja? Ist ein Farn. Ja, ja. Sieht sehr schön aus. Ist der Bottich, in dem er ist, auch wichtig oder nur der Farn? Gut, merke ich mir eh nicht. Musik?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Wow.
Oh, no,
Also schon wieder hier.
not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Aber der Farn! Der Farn! Lass einen fahren!
You know what, Stanley?
Was?
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ja! Neue Richtung, finde ich immer gut.
Now,
Direktionen.
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
Weniger im Kreis laufen.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Ja, eine Tür wäre toll. Ah, oder sowas. Eine Tür wäre toll.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
Aber ich
no
mag die
lines or
Adventure
monitor
Line.
rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Aber Adventure Line, ich liebe dich. Ich will ein Musikstück von dir. Oh,
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
aber ich will die linke. Ach,
Oh, hold on.
das
what's
Verwirrungsende.
this? The confusion ending.
Vom
You're
Wartungsraum
telling me
abweichen, im Monitorraum
that's what this
ankommen.
is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what,
Dritter,
eight
vierter, fünfter,
times?
Sechster, siebter, achter.
That's
Der
really
Erzähler ist
how all
verschwunden.
this goes?
Lange Zeit später Stanley
It's
stirbt.
all determined? So now, according to the schedule,
Eine
I restart
Buchhandlung
again.
finden.
Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Ich will eine
Well, what if I
Buchhandlung
don't want to
finden.
forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh, was war das für ein Sound? Wie gemein. Oh. Ja.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Ja. Da ist ein grüner Zettel. Der ist anders als die anderen. Der wird allein sterben. Da ist noch ein grüner Zettel. Doch nicht mehr anders als die anderen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, der Sound war gerade schon, ja. Gehe ich jetzt nach links oder gehe ich nach rechts? Das ist die große Frage. Ich meine, irgendwas hat sich ja geändert.
Yet there was not a single person here either. feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Broom Closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay, da hat sich leider nichts geändert. Das fängt nur von vorne an.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ist das noch alles das gleiche jetzt wieder? Ja, Executive Bathroom. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Und wir haben wieder das Büro. Und den Fahrstuhl. Aber hier hat sich auch nichts geändert. Und was ist eigentlich mit dem Fahren? Kommt der nochmal vor? Können wir mal kurz Fahrstuhl fahren. Fahrstuhl fahren. Okay, genug Fahrstuhl gefahren. Kann ich denn da jetzt noch irgendwas anders machen? Lass mich mal überlegen. Zurück können wir natürlich nicht mehr, ne? Die Tür ist zu. Schade. Was war das? Ich habe den Code nicht mehr.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Ja.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Okay, aber eigentlich ist das ja nichts Neues mehr dann. Dann sagen wir mal erneut beginnen. Ich glaube, wir können jetzt in den New Content schon mal reinschauen. Das heißt, ich hätte doch wieder rechts gehen
Stanley's
müssen.
office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Da hing ein Bild an der Wand. Ich kann auch nicht zurückgehen. Ich kann es also nicht sagen.
Oh, new content?
Ja.
What does that mean, new content?
Naja, New und Content. Aha. Okay.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ja.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Game.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
game.
delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ja, ich bin so
This
aufgeregt.
sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Ja, ich auch. Kaffeetassen. Oh, so aufregend. Unterlagen. Verschlossene Türen. Ein Fahrstuhl.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Fahrstuhl? Fahrstuhl?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go.
Ah.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Ja. Auf welcher Seite steige ich aus?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Ja, Content! New Content. The Jump Circle.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Drücke Space. Ich kann springen? No. Kann ich eh nur hier springen? Wie kacke ist das denn? Vor allem, der ist nur lieblos hingetaped. Also, hör mal, wenn ich eh nur hier springen kann. So. Damit alle unzufrieden sind, den letzten Sprung lasse ich über. Vielleicht kommen wir nochmal wieder.
Is that it? Surely
Anscheinend.
that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Na, das ist bestimmt alles. Reicht doch. Ist doch spannend genug. Wir können endlich springen. Fahrstuhl. Bin ich von hier gekommen? Nein, gut.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yeah.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Aber was ist eigentlich mit dem Fahren? Thank you for enjoying the new
That's
content.
it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Ja.
If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
Aber
No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Aber ich hab doch schon alles gemacht? Fragezeichen. Huch. Das sieht anders aus jetzt. Wir haben ein neues Büro bekommen. Friend. Aber hier ist ein Bild vom alten Büro. Schön.
Stanley!
Ja.
Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Ja, ich will nur kurz. Gleich. Ah,
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
ich wollte nur feststellen, dass wir hier anscheinend wieder in den alten Content kommen. Aber gut. Werd halt beleidigend. Selber Trottel.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Oder vielleicht doch. Ach, schade. Okay. Was gibt's? Ventilatoren. Hoppa. Ja. Hat er jetzt aber lange geladen.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me
Yeah.
thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Huch, hä? Wieso hocke ich mich ja automatisch hin? Verstehe ich nicht. Schön. Schade, dass hier so dunkel ist und ich für überall zu fett bin. Ah, was haben wir hier?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Schön. Schön, schön, schön. The Memory Zone. Was haben wir hier schönes? Ein Telefon und ein Picknickkorb. Ah, schön. Habe ich schon gesagt, dass es schön ist? Mit dem Vogelgezwitscher.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The greatest wealth is memory. Ist das hier das Freiheitsending? National Geographic. Cargo. Operators Manual. Das sind die Zeitschriften, die so verteilt rumliegen, glaube ich. Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Zone, Sweet Zone. Was ist das? Die Steam-Seite vom ursprünglichen Stanley Parable. Auf Russisch? Okay. Ah, 2013, als Stanley Parable released wurde. Ja. Was ist das hier? Collectors Edition? Konnte man das Spiel auch physisch kaufen? Audience Award 2014 Independent Games Festival. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, falls das ein echter Award ist, den ihr gewonnen habt. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Stanley Parable. In the Category Story. The Last of Us steht da eigentlich. Weißt du schon ein paar Tastengeräusche ein? 1951. Okay, der Kaffeebecher ist neu. Good Times. Let's begin again. Ja, ein paar Bilder aus dem Ursprungsspiel. Was haben wir hier drüben noch Schönes? Ein Schreibtisch mit 2013 als Uhr. The Stanley Parable by the Narrator. Our First Kiss. My First Car. The Release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Okay, es gab wirklich eine Collectors Edition. Das ja... Also ich meine, warum nicht, ne? Haben ja viele Spiele. Warum nicht auch The Stanley Parable? The Memory Zone Temp. I Remember. The Stanley Parable. Mind Control Factory. 2013. 2013 ist auch schon so lange her. Das sind schon fast 10 Jahre. Gott, damals war ich noch jung und knackig und heute bin ich nur noch und. Mozilla Firefox Page. What everyone's saying. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. The Stanley Parable. Bits of Music. $1. Oh, Demo. The Stanley Parable Demonstration. Begin the Demo. Okay. Was haben wir hier? Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Okay. Ja, Schulzeit war bei mir da schon nicht mehr. 2013 war schon keine Schulzeit mehr bei mir. Da war ich schon 22. Da war die Schule schon eine Weile rum. Okay. War das wirklich nominiert für die British Academy Awards? Also ich meine, warum nicht? Aber den Preis hat es anscheinend leider nicht bekommen. New Video Game Releasing Today. Was ist denn los, Hals? Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Und da haben wir das... Ich glaube, es ist das Todesende, wo Stanley tot ist. Und sie hieß, glaube ich, Mariella. Oh, in loving memory, little Stanley. Oh, ein Hamster. Nein, hatte irgendeiner von den Entwicklern einen Hamster, den er Stanley genannt hat? Das ist so idyllisch hier, ich will hier wohnen. Da steht ein Klavier. Das auch gerade wunderschön für uns spielt. Memory Zone.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Aber immerhin Elevator-Content. Okay, hat ein paar Awards gewonnen. Chapeau. Aber Stanley Parable ist auch ehrlich gesagt ein wirklich gutes Spiel. Das muss man ehrlich zugestehen. Was ist hier unten? Memory Zone Maintenance. Schade. Fire. Okay. Bilder wieder. The tasteful nostalgic. It was good. You are playing the Stanley Parable. Ja, das alte Menü. Die Türen. The top 10 memories from the Stanley Parable. I remember. Person of the Year. Das ist doch hier. Oder nicht? The Stanley Parable. Was ist das hier? Sieht nach Entwicklungsprozess aus. Die Türen. Aber sie sind verkehrt rum. For Scott K. Aha, ein Auto. Das ist dann wohl die Collectors Edition. Oh, mit einer Krawatte. Jetzt will ich sie auch. Verdammt. The end is never the end. Your number is 29. Fahrrad. Was? Preparing Snake Oil Salesman Routine? An Fahrrad kann ich mich nicht erinnern.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Ja. Und ja, du hast richtig gehört. Er hat Persona und auch Skyrim erwähnt. Source. Das ist wahrscheinlich ein Source Pack, das benutzt wurde. No, move objects, create levels und graphics. People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally. Anything. Ist die Tür hier drüben gerade aufgegangen? The Serious Room. 2013. Das ist der ernste Raum. Da dürfen wir nicht rein, der ist zu ernst. Schade, kann ich nicht irgendwie auf die Boxen? Mann, ich wünschte, ich könnte springen, aber ich kann mich nur ducken. Okay, hier lang.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Hey, sind wir hier nicht hergekommen?
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Ah.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Wahrscheinlich der Moloch. Cold Drinks. Steam Reviews. Oh oh.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Na, nicht alle. Aber hier ist ein Daumen hoch, aber der da nicht.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Also ich mag den Sprecher. Vor allem unfunny. Ich finde ihn Bombe. Die hätten meiner Meinung nach keinen besseren Sprecher finden können für das Spiel. Unfunny. Na komm, gib mir die nächste schlechte Review. Darum geht's hier doch gerade in dem Abschnitt, oder? Deswegen regnet's. Ah, Daumen nach unten, na klar. Weil die Leute manchmal blöd sind und ein Stück Kunst nicht erkennen, wenn es ihnen ins Gesicht kackt. Hier ist ein Daumen nach oben, aber der ist umgedreht.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Nein.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Mal abgesehen davon, auf die Bewertung würde ich nicht viel geben, die kommt von einem Deutschen. Der Deutsche an sich ist nur glücklich, wenn er meckern kann. Punkt. Und ja, gerade wenn man ihn zur Weißglut bringt, ist er doch lustig, der Sprecher. Die Musik. Wird das jetzt ein Horrorspiel? Von der Musik her? Da ist wieder eine positive Bewertung, aber die dürfen wir natürlich wieder nicht lesen. Oh, da ist noch eine schlechte. Komm, gib
What's
mir.
this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Nein!
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only
Nein.
positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Nein! Ich meine, man muss es ja auch mal appreciaten. Der Sprecher hat jede Zeile mindestens 3-mal eingesprochen. Und dann wurde trotzdem vieles rausgenommen. Ich will keinen Skip-Button. Teufelswerk, geh weg. Oh, eine Leiter. Kann ich die hoch? Natürlich nicht. Und vor allen Dingen, warum habe ich hier eine Uhr und eine Pflanze?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there...
Was passiert denn, wenn ich drücke?
Oh, you're back, you see?
Yeah.
You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay,
Yeah.
So my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've got me going back to Manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation. And I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, Manifesto. 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 Treatise, Manifesto.
Wenn der Sekundenzeiger immer rum ist?
Manifesto.
Wüsste ich gerne mal.
Manifesto.
Und dann skippe ich.
Treatise, Manifesto.
Ich bin übrigens für Manifesto.
Treatise, Manifesto. Treatise,
Nein, das bewegt nicht der Sekundenzeiger. Schade.
Treatise, Manifesto. Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works.
Yeah.
Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
Yeah.
Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial, something along the lines of, "This game is the best game." Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
Okay.
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yeah.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take
Ich
any of
sehe
these.
eine
All I want is
Lüftungsanlage.
for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where
Ja,
did it go?
genau hier war eine
Can you
wunderschöne
maybe
Tür.
just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need
Ja.
a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door.
Ja.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please.
Okay.
Please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
Ja.
Got it?
Ja.
Yes. Good. I'll be right back.
And don't press the skip button. Ich putz mal meine Brille, Leute. Darf ja eh nichts machen. Ich soll ja warten. Wie schaffen es Brillen eigentlich immer dreckig zu werden, wenn man sie nie anfasst? Doch gar nicht so lange Wimpern. Oh, ich sehe wieder was. Gibt's ja nicht. So, haben wir schon eine Tür? Haben wir nicht. Ist ja klar, wir wissen alle, ich muss den Knopf drücken. Die steht hier nicht ohne Grund. Gut, und die Uhr hat uns ja schon schön verdeutlicht, dass die Zeit vergeht, wenn wir den Knopf drücken. Oh, ja.
Stanley!
Ja?
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Was?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
Nimm ihn
I
weg.
can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
Weil du
I've
dich
been
wiederholst dann.
thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well.
No.
You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. Well, oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Ich drück dann mal wieder den Knopf. Haben wir immer noch keine Tür?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible, the spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience, and then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Garstig sind wir ein bisschen, nicht wahr? Irgendwie schade, dass er nicht anfängt, sich zu wiederholen. Hat sich schon irgendwas geändert im Raum? Wir haben ihn jetzt ein Jahr alleine gelassen. Die Leiter sieht noch gut aus. Nur die Uhr tickt nicht mehr. Feuermelder ist auch noch da. Na dann. Wie lange wir ihn wohl jetzt alleine lassen? Wie lange das hier noch geht, bis wir zum Ende kommen von diesem Strang? Ich glaube, er ist weg. Und ich bin wieder allein. Schnauze! Komm, lass mich drücken. Lass mich drücken! Oh, das Geräusch ist eklig.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't...
Da tropft Wasser. Oh, das hat mich gerade erschrocken. Da tropfte Wasser irgendwo. Hallo? Wasser? Hier! Aus dem Rohr tropft Wasser. Wo man sieht gar keine Pfütze. Aber es tropft. Okay.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Kannst du dir vorstellen, wer an der Ecke sitzt?
End is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Da tropft sehr viel Wasser. Und wo kommt eigentlich das Licht her? Die Lampen gehen ja gar nicht mehr. Das sieht nicht gesund aus. Das sieht auch nicht gesund aus. Hier. Nein! Lass mich hier raufklettern. Ich kann nicht, verdammt. Okay, ich dachte, ich kann da vielleicht rauf und raus, aber nein. Ja. Aber ich komme immer noch nicht raus. Huch. Schön. Das ist nicht der Farn. Hagebutten? Ich glaube schon. 2D-Hagebutten. Oh nein, jetzt ist wieder alles weg. Wo ist mein Wald hin, den ich mir hier gezogen habe? Das ist irgendwie gruselig, ehrlich gesagt. Vor allem von den Geräuschen her. Ja. Definitiv gruselig. Definitiv. Okay. Freiheit! Oh nein! Mein Skip-Button! Nicht mal mehr die Leiter ist da. Aber der Stuhl. Ah, der Stuhl ist noch da. Hoch. Wo ist das Wasser? Ich bilde mir ein, Dinge am Horizont zu sehen. Könnten aber auch einfach nur Wolken sein. Ist das gut, wenn ich hier jetzt einfach mal drauf losgehe? Ich würde eigentlich auch gerne bald mal Schluss machen für heute, ehrlich gesagt. Wie lange geht das mit dem Ende hier noch? Ist das klug? Ah, so lange geht das mit dem Ende noch. Cool, cool. Telefon! Warte mal, ich weiß, da muss man rangehen. Welches ist es? Dieses?
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Frau hat angerufen, ich soll Dinge einkaufen. Aber es ist schon spät. War ein langer Tag heute, obwohl Feiertag war. Und morgen fängt der Tag wieder früh an. Dementsprechend würde ich den Stream hier gerne erstmal beenden. Hätte ja nicht mal gedacht, dass ich heute überhaupt schon zum New Content komme. Mal gucken, wann ich es dann weiterspiele. Diese Woche eher nicht mehr. Ist unwahrscheinlich. Aber ich gebe ja so oder so auf Twitter Bescheid, wenn es weitergeht. Ich bedanke mich also fürs Zuschauen und wir sehen uns dann wahrscheinlich beim nächsten Mal wieder. Tschüss!